You're listening to the Experiencing God Day by Day podcast, brought to you by Blackaby Ministries International.
May 19. Making necessary adjustments. Jeremiah 9, verse 1. If my head were a spring of water, my eyes a fountain of tears, I would weep day and night over the slain of my dear people. Jeremiah was invited by God to be a weeping prophet. His call came during turbulent, agonizing times as his society suffered from pervasive moral and spiritual decay. The nation of Judah had turned so far from God that it was soon to face his fierce judgment. This was not a time for merrymaking, but for weeping. God looked for someone he could mold into the kind of prophet needed for such a bleak time. He found Jeremiah. The cost to Jeremiah was intense. He sacrificed much of the freedom of his youth in order to be God's messenger. He forfeited family and reputation. He endured misunderstanding, ridicule, and persecution. He was imprisoned and mocked by those to whom he had come to warn of God's impending judgment. Satan will try to convince you that obedience carries much too high a price, but he will never tell you the cost of not obeying God. If you are to be used in God's service, you must expect to make adjustments in your life. Can you measure the distance between the throne room of heaven and a cattle shed in Bethlehem? How far is it from the lordship of the universe to the cross? Don't be deceived into thinking there is no cost involved in obedience. What adjustments is God asking you to make? Will you face the hardships and opposition that will come when you align your life with God's will? Jeremiah had the deep satisfaction of knowing he was a faithful and beloved servant of God. Your reward will be the same when you choose to fully obey Christ, regardless of the cost.
This podcast is based on the book Experiencing God Day by Day by Henry and Richard Blackaby, published by B&H Publishing Group, music by Mark Brown.